Sai Ram students, welcome to the third session of chapter 14, that is elements, compounds and mixtures. So before starting today's session children, let's revise what we had learnt in the last session. So children, in the last session we were discussing about the elements, right? So we discussed that the scientist Democritus, he named this smallest particle of the element as atoms. In Greek language, atoms are called as atomos, which means indivisible. Then children, in 1803, John Dalton, he proposed a theory that atoms, they cannot be created, they cannot be destroyed, and they cannot be divided into smaller particles. Then children, we saw that in our day-to-day life, we use short forms for many of the items or the articles, right? And so accordingly, scientist Berzelius, he also gave the elements a symbol, right? So we discussed about the various elements and their symbols. Like for carbon it was C, for chlorine it was Cl, right? So with the symbols are used in English script only, right? So it always starts with the capital letter. Like for carbon it was capital C, but for chlorine you cannot use the same symbol as C, right? So for chlorine it was Cl, but the starting letter was capital and the second letter was followed by the small letter, right? So no two elements will have the same symbol, right? Then children, we saw about what the three types of elements, that is metals, non-metals and metalloids, right? So the metals, they are they show the proper elements which show the properties of malleability, ductility, conductivity, luster, sonority. So all these are called as metals, and the elements which do not show these properties of malleability, ductility, luster, sonority, density, they are called as non-metals. And what are metalloids? Metalloids are those which show the properties of both metals as well as non-metals. So those are called as metalloids. Then children, we saw that in the elements, some elements, they are present in the nature in the pure form, like your gold and iron, right? So pure iron, it rusts in air, and pure gold, it is very soft, so it can bend easily. So you can use these pure elements by mixing one or more elements, and such a mixture is called as an alloy, right? So we took example of brass, 22 karat gold. So all these are examples of alloys. So children, now in today's session we are going to see about compounds and mixtures. So let's start with compounds, right? So now what is a compound? Now children, you have to take a test tube, or you can do it at home also by taking a small vessel, and in that you have to put some sugar, right? Now when you put the sugar in the test tube or in a small vessel and you heat it, what do you see? You see that the sugar, it will start melting, right? Later on, after melting, it will start losing water, and then it will finally, you will see a black color substance, right? Now what is this black color substance? This is nothing but carbon, right? So carbon, this is an element, right? Now what is a compound? The substance formed by a chemical combination of two or more elements is called as a compound. So what is a compound? The substance formed by the chemical combination of two or more elements is a compound. So now children, as I told you, carbon, it is an element, right? Now carbon dioxide, if you take carbon dioxide, it contains carbon as well as oxygen, right? CO2 is the molecular formula of carbon dioxide. So it contains carbon plus oxygen. So that is a compound, because what is the definition of a compound? It is formed by the chemical combination of two or more elements, right? So carbon dioxide, it is a compound. Now let's take the example of water. Now water, what is the molecular formula for water? It is H2O, right? So there are 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen, right? So H2O, water, it is a compound, right? And in that hydrogen plus oxygen is combined, then it gives water, right? So if you take only hydrogen or only oxygen, these are elements, but when you combine this hydrogen and oxygen, you get water. So water is a compound. So a substance is a compound only if its molecules are made up of atoms of different types. So I hope students you have understood what is a compound. Now, as I told you, water is a compound, and one molecule of water, it is made up of 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. Now, hydrogen, it is a combustible substance. That means it burns, right? And oxygen, it helps in combustion, right? So hydrogen, it is a substance which can burn, right? Which helps in burning. Similarly, oxygen, it supports in burning also, right? But water, which is formed by the combination of hydrogen and oxygen, it is used to extinguish a fire, right? So the compound which is formed from the substance, that is hydrogen and oxygen, which helps in burning, but the compound, that is water, it helps to extinguish the fire, right? So this is, so it is different, right? So the elements, it may do some other property, and the water which will have got, water will have some different property. Properties of a compound are different from those of the constituent elements. So like an element, a compound is also written in abridged form. Abridged means short form, right? So we had seen for elements also there was a short form. So similarly for compounds also there is a short form. A molecule of a compound is formed by a chemical combination of atoms of 2 or more elements. Now, therefore, the molecular formula is used to represent a compound. So, a compound, it is represented by a molecular formula, which is nothing but the short form. A molecular formula of a compound is a short form of its name written with the help of the symbols of the constituent elements and the number of their respective atoms, right? So whatever symbols we saw for elements, the same symbol we are going to use it, but it will contain some atoms also, right? Like H2. So it is containing 2 atoms of hydrogen. So hydrogen H, it is an element which is the symbol. But when you add 2, H2, so that is, it means it contains 2 atoms of hydrogen. So a compound will also have that respective atoms also, right? So let's see some compounds and their molecular formula. As I told you, water, it has got the molecular formula as H2O, right? Next is acetic acid. You have all seen acetic acid, right? It is a chemical type of preservative. We had learnt it in food safety chapter, right? So its molecular formula is CH3COOH, right? So you can see here, children, there are 3 atoms of hydrogen, right? Now carbon dioxide, I had already taken this example, CO2. So it contains 1 atom of carbon and 2 atoms of oxygen, right? Next is sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is NaCl. Here it is containing one atom. 1 atom of sodium and 1 atom of chlorine, right? So your next example is of sulfuric acid. So what is the molecular formula? H2SO4. So what does it contain? 2 atoms of hydrogen, 1 atom of sulfur and 4 atoms of oxygen. Next you can see glucose, that is C6H12O6, right? Do you remember, children, where you had seen this formula? Yes, you had seen in the chapter 4, that is nutrition in living organisms, where you had seen in the process of photosynthesis, right? So carbon dioxide plus water, it gives oxygen plus glucose, right? So there you had seen this glucose formula. Now, what is a mixture? A mixture is formed by mixing different elements or compounds. So what is a mixture? Mixture is nothing but it is formed by mixing different elements or by different compounds. So proportion of various components in a mixture is not fixed. No chemical change takes place during the formation of mixtures and no new substances form. So when we are preparing a mixture, there is no chemical change and no new substances also form in a mixture, right? Now, mixing unwanted substance in any foodstuff is called as adulteration, right? So this also you had seen in food safety, right? Food safety chapter, that adulteration is nothing but they use some they mix some unwanted substances in the foodstuff. So that is also called as a mixture. So an adulterated foodstuff is also a kind of mixture. When an unwanted and harmful substance is mixed with another substance, the resulting mixture no longer remains useful. So, whenever you are mixing any harmful substance or unwanted substance with any other substance, the mixture which you get, it is no longer useful, right? So, we separate the unwanted ingredients from the mixture. So, if you don't want the particular ingredient from the mixture, we can also separate it. And for this purpose, simple and easy methods such as straining, that is filtering, sifting, picking, sorting, winnowing, combing with a magnet, and sublimation are used, right? So these are the separation methods, right? So filtering you can use. Sifting means when you use a wheat flour, when you want to sieve it, that is called as sifting. Picking means if you are using if you want to separate some stones from the grains, that is called as picking, right? Winnowing means the heavier and lighter components, they are separated out. Combing with a magnet means if some unwanted sand, paper, they are mixed with the iron filings, so you can use a magnet and separate them. And sublimation, you all know, right, that directly the solid substance, it is converted into a gaseous substance. So the best examples are of camphor and naphthalene balls, right? Now you can see here the methods of separating the components of a mixture. So you can see here, children, the first picture wherein the lady, what process she is doing? She is doing the process of winnowing, right? So this is generally used for separating the grains from the husk. So this process is known as winnowing, right? So next method you can see over here, children, that this figure where the stones are being separated from the rice. So that is called as the method of picking, right? And you can see the third picture over here in the glass. This process is known as filtration, right? Filtration. Like whenever you are preparing sharbat, you filter it, or whenever you are preparing tea also, you are using the process of filtration, right? Now you can see the fourth picture over here. This is the process of sifting, right? So whenever the wheat flour you bring, you have to sieve it so that whatever solid particles are there, that can be separated out. Even when you use maida also, right? So before using for food purpose, what we do for cooking purpose, we first sieve it and then we use it, right? Then the last process you can see over here, this is called as the method of churning, right? So when is this method used? It is used to take out the butter from the curd, right? So these are some of the methods of separating the components of a mixture. So children, will stop here only. So let's recap what we have learnt in today's session. So children, in today's session, first we saw what is a compound. So what is a compound? The substance formed by the chemical combination of two or more elements is called as a compound. So we took the example of water. Now water, it is a compound because in that there are two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. So there are two elements over here, hydrogen and oxygen, right? So we are using the elements also and we are using the atoms also because there are two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. So that is called as a compound. Then children, we saw that hydrogen, it is a combustible substance. That means it helps in burning, and oxygen also it helps in burning. But water, it is water is a compound and it is used to extinguish fire. So though the elements, they have different properties, the compounds, it is not necessary that it will have the same property. It will have also, it can also have a different property. So hydrogen and oxygen, they are elements and they are helping in the process of combustion, right? But water, it is a compound and it helps to extinguish the fire. Then children, we saw that even for the compound we are using the molecular formula, that is the short forms, right? So we took some examples like sodium chloride. Now sodium chloride means it is containing one atom of sodium and one atom of chlorine. So sodium chloride is nothing but the salt which we use in the house. Now children, there are baking soda also we use. Now what is baking soda? The molecular formula is sodium hydrogen carbonate. That means it contains sodium, that is Na, hydrogen, that is H, and carbonate, that means carbon plus oxygen, so C and O3. Also if you see chalk is nothing but your calcium carbonate, right? And then washing soda also which we use at home, that is nothing but your sodium carbonate, right? So these are all the molecular formulas, means Na2CO3, the CaCO3, all these are the molecular formulas which is written in the short form, right? So these molecular formulas, whenever you write any equations, when you want to find out any chemical equation, you can use it, right children? Then children, we saw about the methods of separating the components of a mixture. So what is a mixture? Mixture is nothing but it is formed by the mixture of compounds also or elements also, and these mixtures, they can be separated by using different techniques like winnowing, separation, churning, sifting, picking, etc. So children, in the next session we'll see some more information about the mixture. Till then, goodbye.